There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nessa saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go farther. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nessa saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go farther. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nessa saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go farther. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nessa saudade. Quando a esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go farther. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nessa saudade. Quando a esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go farther. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nessa saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go farther. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nessa saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. Energy grows, each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go farther. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe. Ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar, a história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nessa saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go farther. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais. Grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart.
Welcome to São Paulo. This is the time to celebrate your presence here in the Latin American module of Starter.
The goal is, in a short period of time, to learn as much as possible from them and the opportunities they can offer.
Also to welcome the 10 startups that are in this year in the 2020 version of the LATAM module.
We already closed the 2 POCs with one of the companies in this program, which is amazing because it's like 2 days.
And I think this is the best moment for us to reach a new level.
We are allowed to bring some co-founders with us during this process to learn not only in the one-to-one sessions, but in the other sessions as well.
Welcome to Vienna, the city known for its classical music, for their beer, and actually for their wine too. And let's take a moment to celebrate your presence here in our Europe module.
We at Verbund and I personally are very happy and excited that we host the Europe model of this year's Startup Business Accelerator.
Vienna has so much to offer, and over the next few days, we'd like to give you a virtual tour of the city, some of the sights and the sounds, maybe a little bit of opera, maybe a little bit of coffee house culture, maybe even a little Wiener Schnitzel.
Very excited to be part of this year's startup program, being one of the 10 chosen startups.
Within a few months, we'll have the pilot results to show you all.
We are proud and glad that we have this opportunity and our technology is recognized by the industry.
That it will be just fine. A energia que nos rodeia.
Howdy everyone, this is North America module of Startup Program. Welcome to Houston, where you can expect 3 intense days of hard work and fun too, we hope.
Those 3 days, they are very, very intensive, and we are on the 3rd module of this Starter 2020 after the Latin American, the European one. So it's the startup avalanche.
I like the discussion, and then the questions and comments the colleagues, especially from Europe, put during the pages of those startups.
To consolidate ESG data, report it, analyze it, identify risks and opportunities, and demonstrate their positive impact to the world.
We spent some time obviously working through the Jamboard. I want to acknowledge sort of the good work behind the Beta I team and helping us through that. And we really think the pilot process was very helpful here.
We'd like to determine if there's a mutually beneficial fit for a strategic pilot demonstration.
Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can. A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade.
Hey, well, welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the grand finale of Starter Business Acceleration. We're all here. I'm Manuel Tange, Head of Innovation and one of the co-founders of BTI, and hello.
And I am Carla Pimenta, Head of Startup Engagement at EDP. We hope you enjoyed watching Starter's progress for the last month. It's been quite a journey. And thank you all for coming. Let me officially welcome you all to the Starter Business Acceleration 2020 Grand Finale. I just want to say how excited EDP is to partner with Verbund and Turning Tables this year, as well with all the 30 cohorts that we had the pleasure to engage with in the past 9 months. We are absolutely thrilled about this year's edition. Despite the circumstances, we managed to adapt and move on, and we made it. So I think we all deserve the round of applause. And this is one of those moments when we are sorry for not being physically together and clapping, right? Anyway, we made it, and the results are extraordinary. 30 startups selected from 820 applications, hundreds of hours of one-on-one meetings across the globe, resulting in more than 50 pilot projects being negotiated. Some of them already kicked off. And one investment. I'm happy to announce that EDP Ventures invested last week in Yotta. Congrats, Yotta team. But we are not there yet. The program doesn't end today, not at all. The doors are open, startups and business units are connected, and we still have a long journey ahead of us. Closing great deals and investments is not simple or fast. It requires a lot of analysis and reflection to deliver high quality projects. Today, is the day you graduate from the program and enter the community of the best energy startups in the world. Congrats to all of you.
Nice. I really like the sound of that. The best energy startups from around the world. Bravo. And what a ride it has been. Did you see the video at the beginning? It's been a very exciting journey for last year. I mean, we had virtual São Paulo, Vienna, and Houston, and I think it was amazing. I admit, I love the feeling that we got in each of these locations, the vibe, all mixed into the serious work, making collaborative innovation happen. And now we're down to the top 9 energy innovators. 9! This time in Lisbon, our final destination for the grand finale of Starter 2020. Of course, in these crazy times, we do everything virtually. That includes traveling around the world from our own home.
Yes, Manuel, you're right. Anyway, it's still possible to show a bit of Lisbon. And we at EDP are really happy to host this final day of Starter to show you around and hoping that you can all visit in the near future. Welcome to Lisbon.
A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade. Quando há esperança numa ideia, não há distância, mas sim vontade. E não há mar que nos separe, ou montanhas impossíveis de escalar. A história que parece repetir-se também sopra que o melhor está a chegar. Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other. As long as there's hope, as long as there's kindness, distance will vanish and we will go further. There is no sea that can tear us apart. There's no mountain impossible to climb. Maybe we can listen to our heart that keeps telling us that it will be just fine.
Wow, so cool. I mean, I really love Lisbon. I know I live here, but I still get the chills when I see it from a different perspective and all these amazing images. This, wow. Do come to Lisbon when you can. And we're really glad to have you here in Lisbon. And it's also a city of music. And we'd like to present to you Thelma Pereira, who is going to sing a very special song for you, just you, in the grand finale. So I hope you enjoy it. Thelma Pereira.
Já à noite, nas horas calmas, sozinho à luz do luar, o fado procura as almas que andam por aí a sonhar. Corre os bairros de Lisboa, desce às calhas da Moirama, bairro Alto, Madragoa, e acaba nos becos da Alfama. Silêncio, deixem ouvir as guitarras trinando canções bizarras, chorando numa voz rouca. Silêncio, deixem ouvir este fado fartinho de ter andado por aí, de boca em boca. Mas dizem que agora o fado vai pôr de parte os queixos, vai pôr tristezas de lado, se vai deixar de ciúmes, diz que vai andar tranquilo, usar de mais altivez. Se assim é, vamos ouvi-lo chorar pela última vez. Silêncio, deixem ouvir as guitarras trinando canções bizarras, chorando numa voz rouca. Silêncio, deixem ouvir este fado, fartinho de ter andado por aí, de boca em boca. Deixem ouvir este fado, fartinho de ter andado por aí, de boca em boca. Thank you. Welcome to Lisbon. We are really happy to be here. I would like to present you the musicians. We just played the fado, a real feeling fado. I hope you could feel it in that side of the net. So in the Portuguese guitar, this specific instrument is Manel Ferreira. And on classic guitar or fado guitar is Miguel Silva. My name is Telma Pereira. We just sang a fado about how fado goes to our souls when the evening and the night comes with the dreams. And now we are about to sing happier fado that is called Velha Tendinha. That is a store that really still exists nowadays in Rossio. If you come to visit Lisbon, you can see it. And it's where fadistas, fado players, fado singers, or the court, or the everyone would come to listen during the evening and the night. Velha Tendinha. Junto ao arco do Bandeira há uma loja à tendinha de aspecto rasca e banal. Na história da bebedeira, aquela casa velhinha é um padrão imortal. Velha taberna desta Lisboa moderna, és a tasca humilde eterna que mantens a tradição. Velha tendinha, és o templo da pinguinha, dos dois brancos da gimbrinha, da boêmia e do pifão. Noutros tempos, os fadistas vinham já grossos das hortas para o seu balcão caturrar. Os fidalgos e os artistas iam para aí horas mortas ouvir o fado e cantar. Velha taberna desta Lisboa moderna, és a tasca humilde eterna que mantens a tradição. Velha tendinha, és o tempo da pinguinha, os dois brancos da gimbrinha, da boêmia e do pifão. Velha tendinha, és o tempo da pinguinha, dos dois brancos da gimbrinha, da boêmia e do pifão. Thank you very much. Obrigada.
Bravo, bravo, Telma. Thank you so much. What a wonderful voice. I hope everybody has enjoyed that you are embracing the Lisbon spirit already. We have quite a day ahead of us, right, Manuel?
Yes, we do. And today is a good day. It's a happy day. And Carla just said it. We have a few things ready for you. Let's look at the agenda. You can see it on your screen. And we have right now a nice surprise for you where we'll be having a keynote speaker, Patrick Lee, co-founder of Rotten Tomatoes, which I'm sure you've all been to evaluating movies and not only, shedding some light around the topic of focus. We have some time at the end for questions, so make sure you use that time with some interesting questions and put them on the chat. We will select a few of them and ask Patrick his answer. And the day will also include some starter business talks after that, and of course, a celebration at the end.
Yeah, so as you were saying, we will start this grand finale with a very special guest. We'd like to welcome Patrick Lee, co-founder of Rotten Tomatoes, our keynote speaker for today. Patrick Lee is a serial entrepreneur, best known for being a co-founder of Tomatoes, a leading entertainment website focused on movie reviews and news. He's a founding team member of Gold House and an advisor to a number of startups, including AtinaPay, Castify, ChargeSpot, InstaRead, KiwiBot, Oishi, Tails, and WePloy. He has also mentored and supported organizations including First Round Capital, SOSV, Berkeley, Skydeck, Mozilla Builders, Blue Startups, WeFunder, and Founder Institute. Hi, Patrick. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Great. Thanks, Carla. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, yeah, hi, my name is Patrick. I'm a co-founder and the founding CEO of Rotten Tomatoes, and today I'm going to talk about focus. So my story began last summer. I was volunteering as the entrepreneur in residence at Blue Startups, a tech accelerator in Hawaii. There, I worked with 7 different startups daily over a period of 3 months. And the advice I gave to each of them over and over again was that they were all trying to do too much, that they needed to focus. Over the course of hammering that point in, I realized that I had not followed my own advice, that I had not been focused with my last few startups. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started 6 companies, of which Rotten Tomatoes was the 3rd. The companies where I was focused worked. The ones where I was not focused failed. And when I looked around at every successful company I could think of, every one of them started off focused. And that's when I realized that being focused is the most important trait for a startup to have. Ironically, almost everyone gets this wrong, and it's why so few startups make it. But why do so many entrepreneurs make this mistake? Entrepreneurs believe they can do anything, so they want to do everything. It's actually harder and against their nature to focus. Too many features, too many categories, too many markets. They want to be everything for everybody. You can spot the worst offenders a mile away by looking at their deck. They have a competitive landscape slide. On one axis, they have their company and their competitors listed. On the other axis, they have a list of features. Each competitor has a few features checked off. And for their company, they have a line of checks all the way down. I'm sure a bunch of you have this exact slide in your deck right now. These entrepreneurs are building everything but the kitchen sink and trying to service everybody. This is the most common problem entrepreneurs face by far. They are not focused. So what is focus? Focus is answering one question as quickly and cheaply as possible. Do people want this? The goal is to get to product market fit, which I define to be when a product is so good that people tell other people about it without being asked to. In other words, the product sells itself. Think Game of Thrones, Marie Kondo's KonMari method, the Netflix show Tiger King, or the musical Hamilton. With Rotten Tomatoes, for example, we saw early signs of product market fit when 1. The site was featured on Netscape and Yahoo. 2. Roger Ebert listed Rotten Tomatoes as one of his favorite movie websites in a magazine article he wrote. And 3. We saw a spike in traffic the day Pixar released A Bug's Life, and it turned out that that traffic was coming from Pixar. People wanted our product, and because of these early signs, we went out and raised money to run Rotten Tomatoes as a real company. I like to think of finding product market fit as trying to start a fire. Being everything for everybody is like sunlight hitting the earth. It provides light and heat, but isn't enough to start a fire. But what happens when you add a magnifying glass? By focusing the sun's rays to a single tiny point, it is possible to start a fire. Now, imagine your resources as the sunlight. By focusing your resources on a tiny point, it is possible to find product market fit. And one important thing to remember about fire, it spreads. If everything falls into place just right, you could end up with a forest fire. That's Facebook, Amazon, Google. Their fires are so big you couldn't put them out even if you wanted to. So how do you focus your resources? You reduce scope. Cut away until it's one feature, one category, one market. This is the opposite of building everything but the kitchen sink. For feature, pick the feature that is the main reason why anyone would use your product. For Rotten Tomatoes, that's the tomato meter. You can get rid of everything else on the site and it still 95% works. For Twitter, that's the tweet. Category, choose the category that makes the most sense for your business. For Rotten Tomatoes, that was movies. Market, go for the lowest hanging fruit. The smaller and more niche the market, the better. For Rotten Tomatoes, we initially started with hardcore movie buffs. At the start, entrepreneurs generally have extremely limited resources. So reducing the scope of the problem increases the chance of success. Not only does it allow you to do things faster and cheaper, it ends up being a better product too. One way to tell if you cut enough is to see if you can explain your product in 15 seconds. If it takes 5 minutes to explain, it's too complicated. For example, Rotten Tomatoes is a site for movie reviews and news. We save users time and money from not seeing a bad movie. We do this by aggregating reviews from professional critics in one place and then giving you a score based on the percentage of critics that recommend seeing the movie. A product that you can explain will spread. A product you can't explain won't. Before Rotten Tomatoes, I had a design firm called Design Reactor. We provided web design, 3D design, and print design services for any type of client. We were super unfocused. However, we quickly realized that 3D took way too long to render and print took too long to wait for color proofs. So we focused our services down to just web design. And after we landed a contract with Disney Channel, we focused our market down to just entertainment. Once we were web design for the entertainment industry, everything fell into place. Our portfolio made sense, we were able to charge much more, and we never had to cold call again. And the money we raised for Rotten Tomatoes, it came from the clients we had from our design firm. The best products and best companies do primarily one thing at the start. Think Rotten Tomatoes, Eventbrite, 23andMe, ClassPass, Houzz, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. You can't be more of a single thing than Twitter. It's literally a status update. Amazon started with just books. They went public just selling books. It wasn't until the second year of being public that they launch into a second category. eBay started with Beanie Babies. Google was just simple search. When Google started, Yahoo was huge, but Yahoo was a portal. In other words, they were everything but the kitchen sink. Yahoo had unlimited resources. Google was a pair of PhD students right out of Stanford. Yet Yahoo was beaten by Google at the one thing that Yahoo should have been good at, search. But even Google Video, with all the resources of Google behind it, couldn't beat YouTube. And instead, Google was forced to buy YouTube. Same with Facebook, buying Instagram. In Amazon, buying Zappos. In every case, the larger company with infinitely more resources could not compete with a smaller, focused startup. Going back to the competitive landscape slide I talked about earlier, instead of having a line of checks all the way down for features, you should have one check for a single feature and do that one thing better than anyone else. That was Google for search, YouTube for video, Instagram for photos, Zappos for shoes, Rotten Tomatoes for movie reviews. As Peter Thiel says in his book, 0 to 1, start small and monopolize. Every startup is small at the start. Every monopoly dominates a large share of its market. Therefore, every startup should start with a very small market. Always err on the side of starting too small. The reason is simple. It's easier to dominate a small market than a large one. If you think your initial market might be too big, it almost certainly is. Look at Facebook. The temptation for most people would have been to launch into all schools at once. Instead, Facebook launched just in Harvard. Within 24 hours of launching, 1,200 students had signed up. Within a month, over half the undergraduate population was registered on the site. Facebook monopolized Harvard and then slowly and systematically added schools and later countries until their monopoly grew to cover the entire world. The goal is to get a monopoly. Going by Peter's advice, shrink the market to the point where this is possible. For example, if you reduced your market to just yourself and you use your own product, you would have 100% market share. By focusing on one school, Harvard, Facebook had a monopoly within a month. If they launched all schools in the same amount of time, they'd likely have more students overall using their service, but it'd be very unlikely they would have a monopoly of all schools in that same time frame. Why is this important? When you have 1% of the market, the other 99% has never heard of you. When you have 10%, some of the other 90% has heard of you, and it's easier to sell or sign them up as a result. When you have 50%, everyone's heard of you. And at that point, you'll find that your market share will continue growing by itself. I recommend to reduce your market share to the point where you have a realistic shot of capturing over 50% of that market in 1 year. Start with a tiny market and monopolize it. Regardless of how focused you are, you can't start a fire until you actually launch something. Do what you can with the resources that you have to get something out there. Don't worry about resources you don't have. Otherwise, you'll get stuck. Without money, you're stuck trying to fundraise. Without tech people, you're stuck trying to hire an engineer or find a technical co-founder. Rotten Tomatoes went from idea to launch in 2 weeks by one person, our creative director at Design Reactor, Sen Duong. Sen was not a coder, so he built the website using static HTML. Twitter was born out of a hackathon and built in 1 month with a minimal team. Facebook was built by one person, Mark Zuckerberg, in a few weeks. And FaceMash, an early prototype of Facebook, was built in 1 night. To launch quickly, you should release a minimum viable product. A minimum viable product is a product with enough features to validate an idea early in the development cycle. This is the equivalent of drawing blueprints before building a house. It's a lot easier to move a room around when you're already working with blueprints than when you've already built the house. There are several approaches to putting out a minimum viable product. Customer interviews. You can actually validate a product idea just by talking to customers you think are the most likely to use your product. Landing page. Make a landing page for your idea, buy Facebook ads, and see if people sign up to get notified when your product launches. Kickstarter. What's great about Kickstarter isn't just that you can raise money from the platform, it's that you can validate your product idea before actually building the product. Do it manually. Craigslist and AngelList have lists in their names because they started as mailing lists. It wasn't until they became very popular that they built a platform. Any one of you could launch a mailing list within a day for zero cost, and you could pair that with email and Google Sheets to test and improve your product before ever writing a line of code. Reduce scope and launch as quickly and cheaply as possible. By launching your product, you can see if you were able to start a fire. In other words, trying to find product market fit for a tiny initial market. But what happens if it doesn't light? You pivot, change the feature or the category or the market and launch again, or even try something completely different. Things don't always light on the first try. Rotten Tomatoes was my third company. Mark Zuckerberg did multiple startup projects before Facebook. Max Levchin did multiple startup projects before PayPal. ClassPass originally tried to be Groupon for fitness classes. YouTube originally tried to be Hot or Not with video. Justin TV pivoted to Twitch. Odeo pivoted to Twitter. Does focus always work? No. Being focused does not guarantee success, but being unfocused guarantees failure. Look at Magic Leap, which raised $3 billion to over-engineer a product that didn't work as promised. Or Quibi, which raised nearly $2 billion and prematurely scaled before finding a viable business model. Or even the drama around WeWork. What was the first thing they did after they fired their CEO? They cut all their non-core businesses. In other words, they focused. But these examples are all companies that got big enough to be noticed. The majority of unfocused startups you'll never hear of. They struggle in silence, which leads me to my next point. Stress. Stress goes hand in hand with entrepreneurship. It's natural when it's your own thing. You will put in 110% and care more about your company than almost anything. You carry the weight of protecting your employees, investors, clients, users, your company's brand, your reputation. The 3 startups I did after Rotten Tomatoes all failed. Combined, I spent over 14 years of my life and nearly $7 million in funding. Looking back, my success with Rotten Tomatoes made me try to do too much. I was unfocused, and as a result, all 3 times I was unable to start a fire. The stress I endured during that time led to mental, physical, and emotional problems. I was suffering from insomnia, shortness of breath, even full body rashes, all due to stress. There have been startup founders that have committed suicide, all due to stress. Stress is one of the main reasons why founders start fighting with each other and taking their startups down with them. And why am I talking about stress during a talk about focus? Because the good news is that being focused reduces stress. A huge source of stress is being unfocused and biting off more than you can chew. You get stuck and everything is harder, takes longer, and costs more money. Reducing scope and focusing makes things easier, faster, and cheaper, which leads to less stress and better mental, physical, and emotional health. It's better for you and it's better for your company. I'll end with a quote from Steve Jobs. People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that there are. You have to pick carefully. Don't say yes to 100 things and end up being unfocused. Take that magnifying glass and focus all your resources to a single tiny point. One feature, one category, one market. Now get out there and start some fires. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. That was really great. Challenging, I guess, pretty much everybody in the audience to review that slide. And I think everybody's going back to the pitch deck and thinking hard of what they include. Now, before we get full of questions from everybody, I have to put one in, which is Starter is a program that puts together startups and utilities, right? And they do something which is a pilot or a POC to demonstrate minimally, hopefully, the benefit of working together. It's something we call the MV pilot, so the minimum viable pilot. Now, any tips from all your experience of focus and unfocus of what a collaboration might look like in terms of focus, right? What should startups and utilities do?
Yeah, so generally what I suggest is trying to do quality over quantity for a pilot. And instead of trying to do like, hey, let's go and sign 20 customers for pilots, I generally would say start with one, do the absolute best job you can with that one, and get that one pilot to actually sign as a real customer. And then, you know, use that pilot to kind of sort out as much of the kinks as you can, you know, work everything out so that it works pretty well. And then once they become a real customer, see if you can expand that to a second, third, fourth pilot. What I see a lot of times is folks go and try and sign up lots of pilots without actually having tested anything with anyone yet, and trying to service too many of them at once and doing a bad job with all of them. So that would be my recommendation, and how you would potentially focus in a pilot.
That's really good. So really focus also the energy of the startups with very well-defined and not many pilots at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And I have another one, which is, guys, please write, and can also from YouTube, in terms of the slide. So everybody does have the slide. You're right, spot on, and they do have let's say 5 or 10 features that they do consider as like the most important because they put them on the slide. How do we go from 10 to 1, right? Say that is the one I should focus on.
I would say that, you know, a lot of times folks will have multiple features, but really, like, what's the main reason why you go to that site or use that product? And in general, you know, think about fast food chains, right? Almost every fast food chain you can think of, yeah, they have a menu with lots of items, but they're primarily known for like one thing. There's the hamburger ones like In-N-Out, McDonald's, Burger King. There's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, right? Panda Express, Dunkin' Donuts, list goes on and on. So think about, like, from a marketing perspective, even if people can only remember one thing about your product, what is it? And that one thing they're supposed to remember, that's your main feature. That's the main thing you have to do really, really well. And it's better to do one thing really well than to try and have 10 things and do them all badly.
True story. Great. We have a question here from Lola, which is, how can a startup take advantage of the knowledge and context learning gains from being closer to an established company?
Let me see. Okay, so I would say in that case, what can be useful when they're in established companies is to try and see what works with them. I would imagine in those cases, the larger companies, you know, work regularly with startups, and they may have certain processes that are important. I would say one thing that's really valuable is creating a good relationship with those established companies, because, you know, a similar thing happened to us when we were at Disney Channel, where when we were working with Disney, they were much, much larger than everything else that we had worked with at the time. But one thing that was really good is we went there and tried to do as good of a job as we could. And then, you know, people move around, people talk to other people. If you do a really good job with those companies, they brought us in to other places. They brought us to ABC and Warner Brothers and MTV and VH1 and all these other places. I think that is one thing, is definitely, you know, learn what you can from these companies, learn how they operate. You know, one thing that was really important for us at our design firm was, how do we make the people we work with look really good for working with us by doing a great job and making them look like a hero for championing us, you know? And so learn from them, figure out how to do a really good job, how to make them look good. And then they potentially can also introduce you to other clients, and they can bring you if they move to somewhere else.
And did you guys, oh wait, I was gonna ask you, but okay, I'll give other people a chance. Here's a question from YouTube, and it says, considering focus, what can be the balance between a solution focus, which is core for any startup, and business focus, which is the case of Startup Business Accelerator? Okay.
Solution and business focus.
So yeah.
Okay. solution focus.
So I think it's like focused on your product versus focus on selling to different companies and testing. And so should you have more features on your product versus, or how, why it's different than contacting a whole bunch of possible clients that you have?
Right. So I would say that sounds like solution versus problem versus solution, right? So when you're thinking about from the business perspective, it's like, what's the problem people are having? And the product is what's the solution. So I would say, both are important. You have to start, or you generally should start with a problem that you're trying to solve. And then hopefully your product can solve that problem, right? And so it's important to make sure you've identified a good problem that people will ideally use and pay for, and then make sure your product actually solves it. So both are important. You need a problem in order to figure out a solution. If you're a solution looking for a problem, it generally doesn't work.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Okay, there's also, I see, here's another question, and it's a huge pain, which is tips on, working with big companies is great, and it helps with focus, but how do you navigate with generally very long and complicated procurement processes? Now, this probably taps into a lot of experience that you have with the bigger companies.
Right. Again, I would say keeping things more simple, probably my guess is it would be easier to push it through, right? If you have too many moving parts involving, too many departments, I imagine that would be more difficult. So when we talk about the MVP, if you think that there's something that might make sense, it could be as simple as just testing if people want it, making sure that it is a problem, doing customer interviews, whatever, or just surveys to try to get a sense of, is this something that we should work on? And then even when you try to work on it, what's the simplest way of actually working on that problem? And start smaller, more focused, ideally working with fewer departments, and not try and make it too big that you're going to pull in lots of different groups and then have lots more people trying to jump in with their ideas and thoughts. Because I think once you get it to something by committee, it just gets really hard to make any progress.
All right. Well, thank you very much from all of us from Virtual Lisbon. It was a great testing keynote and also answers to some of our questions. So thank you very much, Patrick. It was a pleasure having you here at Starter.
Yeah,
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for coming.
Thank you.
All right, now, and before we move on to keep talking about business, as you know, Starter wouldn't be possible without the partners. They are the ones pushing to innovate their own companies hard, while pushing for the whole industry to move forward. After being part of this adventure throughout 2020, Starter's partner also went to leave their own message to the amazing participants of this edition. Let's hear from them.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear innovators, I'm very happy to welcome you to this grand finale of the Startup Business Accelerator in 2020 on behalf of Verbund. We made an exciting and challenging innovation journey this year. Today we meet for the grand finale with the best startups in order to announce a winner. I'd like to thank you everyone of our partners, startups and BETA-E who contributed to the success of this program. Let's keep on working together on innovation for the future of energy. And for today, I wish us an exciting grand finale. All the best and stay healthy.
Hello everyone, I'm Carlos Andrade. Welcome to the grand finale of the 2020 Startup Business Acceleration Program. I was your host in one of the modules, the Brazilian module of this 2020 program. So welcome our partners, Verbund and Turning Tables, BETA-I, and good luck to the 9 great startups that are here in this grand finale.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Starter Grand Finale. Now, we all know that 2020 has been a challenging year. Still, it's great to see how the program was able to reinvent itself with the help of all the startups and all our partners. despite all the difficulties, what we've achieved so far, working from a distance, working through phone calls, I think was simply amazing. I hope you have a good time at the finale. I hope you enjoy yourselves. And I'm really looking forward to see you all.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this grand finale. It's a pleasure to greet you in this forum of the Starter program, both the partners and the startups and the rest of the attendees. As you already know, in this world of energy, we face everyday challenges that you are helping us to overcome. Your project proposals will help us to combat climate change and promote implementation of the circular economy in our business, for example. We live in an increasingly digital world in which sustainability is essential. So we'd like to wish you starters, many clients, lots of funding, all the necessary skills, and above all, good luck. See you in EDP Spain. Bye.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Miguel Prado, and I am the CEO of EDP Renewables North America. Congratulations to each of you for being selected to participate in the Starter Business Accelerator Grand Finale. On behalf of EDP and EDP Renewables, it's our honor to welcome you to this event. Our world has changed dramatically just in the last few months, and to meet the challenges posed by COVID-19, we will need to reinterpret our conventional ways of thinking and adapt to a new reality. We are honored to support your teams as you seek to innovate and solve the major issues facing our planet. Thanks again for joining us in the Starter 2020.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. I have to say that this has been a pleasure to work with all of you and to be part of this program. So right away, we'll be having some business talks, and they will be hosted by Verbund and Turning Tables. You will be in good hands. Ed and Rafa, are you there?
Yes, we are. Hi, Carla.
Yeah. Hi,
Hello,
Ed.
Carla.
Hey,
How's
Rafa.
the weather there?
Probably
Traditional
not as nice as your
question.
background.
So guys, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. This is Ed. Welcome from Vienna. Congratulations to the whole program and the 9 finalists. Without further ado, Rafa and I will jump in to our discussions with the 9 finalists and business units from all the partners who have been working together. First up is Arons and Verbund. So Dinis and Matthias, are you ready and
yes,
available?
Yes, hi.
Right. So let me introduce from Arons, Dinis Cruz, the co-founder, and from Verbund, Matthias Mixitz, the operations and maintenance manager for Verbund Green Power. Dinis, let me ask you the first question as we start. What are the unique capabilities of your technology, and how were these used for the pilot projects with Verbund?
Yeah, I would like to emphasize basically 3 things about our robots for wind turbine maintenance. The main benefit is safety, as we do not need to use rope access technicians to provide the services. We are using the robot instead that is used to provide the high quality wind turbine maintenance services on the blades. Also, the second thing is also the robot significantly improves the speed of the services and reduces the downtime of the turbines. It's a huge savings for our customers. For example, also with Verbund, when we were doing the pilot project, we did 3 turbines a day. We achieved the speed of 3 turbines a day and only 2 hours of downtime to perform lightning protection system test. Which is unprecedented speed. It's at least 3 times faster than traditional methods. And the third one is the agility and flexibility of our technology. For example, also for the pilot project with Verbund, we developed a unique technology of high voltage test for lightning protection systems on Enercon turbines, where in cases, if we couldn't measure the lightning protection system, if it's working or not with traditional method, we were imitating a small lightning strike on the turbine from 1 to 500 kilovolts. And basically, therefore, we could test if it's working actually or not, which is couldn't be proceeded with humans in the ropes because it's high risk to do such a task.
Great. Thank you, Dinas. I think Matthias and our team here in Vienna really appreciates your technology. Matthias, a question for you. On our side, the Verbund side, what have been the main benefits and how has Arones performed? Have they done it according to expectations?
Yeah, the main benefit were definitely the reduced downtime from the wind turbine for these lightning protection measurements. That was one of the main benefits. And Arones, yes, they have performed according to the expectations. And we were very happy to have these Arones here in Austria.
Fantastic. Couldn't agree. Rafa, how are we doing on time? Do we have time for one more question?
We have 30 seconds, Ed.
Great. Maybe Dinas, you can talk about what's next steps very quickly on this project.
Yes, we are already working, negotiating with Verbund about next projects during the next season, next low wind season. So I think that our cooperation will continue.
Fantastic. I certainly hope that it does. Thank you, gentlemen, both very, very much. Moving on to the next group. Rafa, take it away.
Yes, now it's time for A Planet. So welcome, Joanna, co-founder of A Planet, and Alfredo Menendez, Lean and Sustainability Manager at EDP Spain. Welcome, guys.
Hi, everyone.
So Joanna, first question is for you. Can you please describe the pilot you have ongoing with EDP Spain and what were the main goals, please?
Yes, sure. So in the pilot with EDP Spain, our main goal is to provide efficiencies and increase capability in their sustainability, that is also known as ESG, environmental, social, and governance data management, helping them with the whole process, that is from data collection, consolidation, quality assurance, reporting, and analysis of data, with our tech product that is called Sustainability. Also, our tools will help EDP Spain to improve overall ESG strategy with our tool Materiality, so they can identify new areas where they can generate a greater impact. While completing the pilot specification, we also detected the need to incorporate personalized indicators, calculated data, and also specific standards for the energy sector into our product. This has been great for us because it has allowed us to increase our value proposition for other energy sector companies. We have already finished setting up the platform, and EDP already started data collection processes, and also will soon be able to visualize information on dashboard and generate reports in a more agile way with richer data. Also, EDP Spain will be able to collaborate easier and improve the flow of information with other EDP headquarters.
Amazing, Joanna, congratulations. Alfredo, can you tell us what does this project mean for EDP Spain? What are the main benefits you're having with it?
Okay, hola. Well, at EDP Spain, we have been working on ESG reporting since the year 2003. During all those years, we were connecting different databases manually using Excel, using mails, and even phone calls. Now, according to our digital strategy, the pilot with A Planet makes sense for us. We have everything together just in one platform. So we can save time, we can save money, and the best, we can minimize all the risks of failure, of mistakes in our ESG reporting. Everything because A Planet platform is, I used to say, clear and friendly. When I say clear, I say it's intuitive. I say it's easy to work with. So it's a very robust platform and very flexible. A Planet team could customize it for us just in a couple of days. So it's great platform. And now we are on the way to improve our reports, so we can respond to all the expectation of investors, society, and all our stakeholders. Well, I have to say just one sentence. Now that we are facing COVID climate change and all those global challenges, sustainability is no more an option. There's no other way. And tools like A Planet platform can help us in that vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alfredo. Sounds very good.
Well, perfect on time. It's almost as if you guys practiced. Great job.
Yes, now we are moving, right, Ed, to my friends from Climacel and Grupo Cuerva.
That's right.
Jorge, Monica, are you there?
Hi, Rafa. Hi, everyone.
Hello. So we have Jorge Rueda, Smart Grid Project Manager at Grupo Cuerva, and Monica Leal, Enterprise Account Executive at Climacel. So, Monica, first question is for you. Can you please describe what opportunities you found to work with Grupo Cuerva?
Today with all of you. So as we know, utilities are affected by weather in so many different ways. And with Grupo Cuerva, we've identified 2 areas of opportunity. So one of them being generation side. And in generation, we're working on a project in Panama where we're going to help their hydro plant have a competitive advantage in the market, generating, understanding what the generation of power is expected, and also helping them understand where there's going to be a potential risk of flooding so that they can protect assets and save lives. We're even talking about a potential of taking this opportunity even further and have them as partners and resellers in that area of the world. The second project we're working on is the distribution side of things in Spain. Now, it is a big challenge for utilities to understand why outages are happening in their grid. And for that, we're going to be working on understanding historically the correlation of the weather with the occurring of outages. And in that instance, we're going to help them, forecast in the future and see where in the grid there's more risk so they can make better decisions and take action. We look forward to working with Grupo Cuerva in these opportunities and hopefully more in the future.
Thank you, Monica. Great. Jorge, here is an important question. Why Climacel and not another company?
Well, I think that I have almost the time to highlight at least 3 key aspects that help us to choose Climacel prior than other companies or competitors. First of all, I think that how they engage us from the very first beginning, they show a deep knowledge about their solution and help us to understand in a clear way the added value that they can offer to an utility as Cuerva. And they also made an incredible work to continue this process of the definition of a suitable pilot, working closely with us. Also, as a second remarkable point, maybe it will be the ability that they have of customization of their solution to different, as Monica talked a minute earlier, we have defined 2 pilots with different application. One of it to explore inflow forecast for a better performance of an hydroelectrical plant, and another one weather forecasting to improve the reliability of distribution network. So we have covered a lot of different needs. So this customization, I think that it is also a good point and made with other competitors. And well, and maybe last but not least, as they have proved that their solution is global. So we have worked in the first pilot in Panama area and in the second one here in Granada, in Spain. So they are not limited to the location, and I think that a very good point for a multinational company. So I think that these key points maybe.
Great, Jorge. Thank you very much. Ed, your turn.
Yes, thank you very much, Rafa. Next, I'm happy to introduce one of Austria's top energy startups, EET, and its CEO, Christoph Kremer. And from EDP Innovation, Mario Simoes, the senior, sorry, I probably got your name wrong, Mario, senior specialist in energy storage and flexibility. Christoph, start with a question for you. Hi, nice to see you again, man.
Good to see you.
Can you please describe the solution that you've been working on with EDP for the past months, and what were the main goals?
Yes, sure, absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Christoph. We here in Austria focused on developing a photovoltaic storage device that can be self-installed by simply anybody by just plugging it in. And we had our go-to-market quite successfully last year here in the Central Europe, and now we're pushing towards Southern Europe, and EDP is one of our partners for a pilot program. I think we have now the approximately 12 months pilot test running in Portugal. Actually, it's the second system we have running there. And yeah, we are pushing towards the market there to go to bring the photovoltaic solution to any household, essentially all over Southern Europe.
Great, Christoph, thanks so much. Mario, over to you. How's the collaboration been with ET for you and for EDP?
Hi guys. So I must say that everything was very smoothly, and as Christoph pointed out, it has been already relatively long collaboration time. It was a very interesting thing because it was a three-party collaboration with us in innovation, with the EET, the startup, and also already involving since the beginning the business unit. And basically everything went very well. We have been testing the device in real operation, covering different use cases, and the ultimate goal is, of course, to have the product in the field, helping the PV penetration and increasing self-consumption for customers.
Great. I guess on that is note is with a follow-up question, Mario. So what's happening now? What are the next steps with EET? And yeah, we can go from there.
Yeah, so basically we have, for the short term, we have a couple of more use cases to test, more related to actually architectures that you can find in the field where you connect these systems. Already also working very closely, as I said in the beginning, with the business unit. And this will, we hope, lead to a rollout, but this is something that is a strategic decision need to be made internally by the company. And of course, with the product, with the program, as also Christoph mentioned, the project went from a Portuguese project to an Iberian project, which is also very interesting.
Great, that's great. I'm really happy to see the progress that you're both making. Congratulations to both of you. I think, how are we doing on time, Rafa? I think maybe one last good point, and I'm sure Mario agrees, is that it's great with Starter that the program can also create more awareness for the project within EDP and I think within our entire partner network. Yeah?
Sure.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thanks so much. Rafa, I'm handing back over to you.
Yes, let's move to energy source. We have David Noronha, CEO at Energy Source, and we also have Paulo Faria, Energy Services Engineer at EDP Brazil. Hello, guys. Are you around?
Hi there.
Yes.
Certainly.
Hello, guys. David, first question is for you. Can you please describe the opportunity you identify on collaborating with EDP Brazil?
Yeah. Our company has a complete solution to reduce, reuse, and recycle lithium batteries. Through our exclusive technology, we are producing second life batteries and recycling those that are not possible to reuse with the lowest environmental impact. As a second life product, we have sold more than 5 megawatts hour of clean energy storage, avoid to release 2.5 tons of CO2 into the atmosphere, and make a good partnership with the biggest distributor of solar products in Brazil. Our patent recycling process, we got 97% of efficiency on recovery of the precious metals in a non-destructive process. With EDP Brazil, we could see an amazing opportunity to offer a completely energy storage system using our second life batteries that will, first, eliminating grid consume at the peak price hours. Second, work as a backup at the grid failure. Third, supply stable AC voltage, and all these benefits with the lowest cost of the battery. The key point of this solution is to prepare a new business model to release the battery as a service platform as a global market, in a global market.
Hello, thank you, David. I think you're doing a great job with your second life batteries. I like that. Pablo, how was the collaboration with Energy Source for you? What are the true benefits for you?
It's been awesome for starters. For us at EDP and I guess other utilities, the present moment it brings great challenges regarding energy storage, especially because of the exchange rate here in Brazil. So second life batteries certainly bring something new to the table, such as those from Energy Source, and that as a great opportunity for the economic viability of these kind of projects. So the solution from Energy Source, we think, is a complete one. It goes from the battery packs themselves to the inverters needed to use this stored energy, to the recycling process from the non-usable battery cells. So I think that Energy Source is a young company, but they show signs of an already mature business. And finally, the battery as a service business model for us is a major selling point, especially in a market that is in its infancy and in one that still needs some reassurance regarding operation and maintenance costs from a customer point of view.
Okay, great, guys. Thank you very much, Ed. I think we should move to Nubeu.
Perfect. Yes, but the second life batteries topic's a big one in the market. Thanks, guys. We're also interested in Austria. Perfect. So speaking of Austria and Verbund, now we have from Brazil, Nuveo, Flavio Pereira, the CEO. Hi, Flavio. And from Verbund, Klaus Murer, the head of Enterprise Resource Planning Systems here. Gentlemen, I hope you're both on the line with us. Flavio, if you're ready, I have a question for you.
Please go ahead.
Please, hey, there you are, man. Hey, can you please describe the solution that we've been working on together for the past months, and what were the main goals?
Okay, great. So we have a platform that automate backups in front offices. Okay, so we found this problematic with you. So you have to analyze and extract key information from around 60,000 invoices per year. Okay, so you have a great effort, manual effort in this analysis to put this information into your ERP to pay the invoices and close this end-to-end process. Okay, so we are developing a neural network to analyze automatically these invoices and put this information inside your ERP, thus reducing the costs per analysis, automatically speaking, and increasing the efficiency in your process. So that's the main goal, to reduce cost and increase efficiency. And actually, we can explore another transactional information, so automate like analysis of proof of address, analysis of contracts, lawsuits, and those kind of documents that you receive daily.
Great. No, thanks. I think it's been an interesting process for and journey on both sides, I'm sure. Speaking of that, Klaus, I hope you're there. I hope you're doing well.
Hello.
Hey, Klaus. Can you describe the experience of working with Nuveo? What kinds of improvements have been felt internally?
Yeah, sure. It was a new kind of experience. We are used to work with established IT companies like, let's say, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, those big names in the market. And the projects we're doing with them are quite difficult because they create a lot of overhead. And working on the pilot project here with Nuveo was so easy, so much easier. It was lightweight. It was straightforward. It was direct in communication. So it was a completely different approach. We were thinking a really, really long time about the use case because none of the big names was able to solve the problem. They all have specialized solutions and they are not willing to adapt their solution to our needs. And Nuveo was there and they said, we are looking at your needs and we are trying to solve them. And it was a completely different approach. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. think this is a great example of focus reducing stress, as we heard in the keynote speech earlier. I think, how are we doing on time? Rafa, do we have time for maybe another question? We could ask both the guys what's happening next and next steps?
Yes, go ahead, for sure.
Super. Klaus or Flavio, I'll let either one of you take this one. Have we defined, well, Klaus, have we defined next steps?
Yeah, so we are currently in the mid of our pilot. So we are waiting for the results of the OCR or the results from the neural networks, and then we will see what's going next.
Yeah, great. I'm looking forward to it, and it's glad to see the multi-sector approach that not only energy companies have a lot of the problems that all corporates have all over the world.
It's an old school problem, and we are trying to solve that for us with the new solution provided by Nuvia.
Great. Thank you, Klaus. Flavio, Klaus, thanks so very much. Rafa, back over to you.
Yes, it is time now for Plataforma Verde and EDP Brazil. So we have Chico Souza, CEO at Plataforma Verde. Chico, hello, are you there?
Hello, Rafa, how are you doing?
Happy to see you.
Great.
And we have Marilia Verissimo, Strategy and Innovation Analyst at EDP Brazil. Hello, Marilia.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. So Chico, first question is for you. Could you please tell us more about Plataforma Verde and the opportunity that you identified together with EDP Brazil?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Plataforma Verde is a software as a service that does the traceability of sustainable production chains in Brazil. So we are already tracking several private companies on their water and energy consumption, but also about their waste disposal. So it's a very pleasant process to work with the Brazilian EDP team because we identify numerous opportunities in 3 POCs, and we are chosen right away for different states and with different teams. It's crazy and a very huge challenge for everyone involved because it's very regarding because we are got the same focus, that is the sustainable EDP network. So achieving operational cost reduction in waste disposal, optimization of administrative time, doing the traceability for the entire process, and also helping EDP on their compliance with legal requirements and transparency through the digitalization. So we can say that we're creating with EDP a real audit system in real time, okay? Is a big motivation for us for the 3 different POCs can have the same results, and maybe you can deploy all of them in the entire Brazil with the different points of view from these different teams. So for us, this is 3 different POCs, but with the same direction. That is the EDP commitment, not only with the objectives of the sustainable development, but also with the corporate aspects of the ESG, the environment, social, and governance principles, is, I think, the EDP Green Revolution.
Thank you, Chico, and congratulations. 3 POCs, a lot. So
I know that.
Yeah, wish you all the best. And Marilia, for sure, the experience working with Chico and the team has been great so far, but could you please tell us a little bit more about it and, of course, the benefits you are getting of this partnership?
Sure. So being able to work with them was great. During the Latin America's module, we could identify potential opportunities for collaboration in different areas of our operation. And one of our strategic goals is to promote the use of technologies and processes that contribute to the protection of the environment and prevention of pollution, including waste management and residues. All of the 3 PLCs are related to optimize and integrate the different processes of residue disposal along the business unit to decrease waste and emissions. For example, in the project related to optimize and detection and destination of transformers oil that could be contaminated with PCB, we are aiming to reduce the number of equipment containing residues that can be harmful to the environment. In the POC related to pruning process, we identify an opportunity to digitalize the documentation related to this activity. This is very important for EDP Brazil to measure the performance indicators and potential actions for continuous improvement. Finally, we're also working on a project to manage correct disposal of residues for EDP boiling plant. This project reflects one of many commitments that EDP addressed in the past year, That is to increase the energy generated through renewable sources and to reduce to more than 90% the emission of polluting gases. So EDP has a strong commitment with sustainability, and Plataforma Verde is a key partner that is supporting the company to adopt the best practices through the value chain, with the establishment of specific procedures to improve our environmental management.
Great, Marilia, thank you very much. I think you're doing great, so I wish you all the best. Ed, I think we should move to white data and EDP Spain.
Let's do it, Rafa.
Yeah.
So the next up is white data. Gonzalo Ribeiro, the CEO of the company, and from EDP Spain, Ernesto Barroso, the Corporate Innovation and Venture Capital team. Guys, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, hi, Ed.
Hey, everybody. So, Gonzalo, let's start with you. Could you please describe the pilot that you've been have ongoing with EDP Spain, and what were the main goals?
Sure. So actually, we're tackling 2 use cases with EDP, both of them using household smart meters data. So as you know, collecting data from household energy consumption is key, not only to understand customer behavior, but also to make consumption predictions and, of course, to build these customers. But managing smart meters is not easy. It is needed to replace them when they break and also look out for fraud. It is estimated that losses from fraud alone can be as high as 9% of the annual profit. So this is a lot. So in a nutshell, our platform is ingesting the data from these meters, automatically process this data and improve it by generating synthetic fraud and failure events. Then the fraud detection and predictive maintenance models are retrained with the improved and synthetic data, leading to an increase in models accuracy, which results in cost savings for EDP. This platform is not limited to smart meters data. So the same use cases exist in other industries, such as financial service and communication, as well as other use cases that we are also exploring, both with Verbund and turning tables.
Exactly. It's fascinating to see the multiple applications of your technology. Ernesto, moving on to you, my friend. Can you describe the experience for EDP Spain and for you of working with white data, and what have the benefits been so far?
Sure. First of all, I would like to remind the first time that I met you, Gonzalo, and Fabiana, the co-founders of White Data. And when you explained the topic you were working on, synthetic data, it sounded like magic. It was very difficult to understand to me, very excited, but very difficult. After several meetings, I understood that you were talking about science, about deep technology, not magic, obviously. And we decided to trust in you and launch this project together. And I have to say that we are very happy. There are not many startups in the ecosystem with these skills and the capacity to face these challenges. And related to the project, as you know, Spain was one of the first countries in addressing the mass deployment of smart meters. So right now we are collecting a large amount of data, but even so, in many cases, we don't have enough data in our data set to train our models and try to make them more accurate. That is our main goal. And this lack of data is what makes your company with data very, very attractive for us. And you are helping us a lot in extract the value from our data. We have been working during 1 month, and the results are coming soon. I'm sure that if the project is successful, new opportunities will arise at EDP Spain in generation, in commercial, even in corporate services. Why not? I'm sure because your market is huge. You have a lot of opportunities, not only in energy sector. And I will be very happy to see how you scale up your company on Gonzalo.
Great. Guys, thank you both so very much. It's really exciting to hear from you guys and everyone so far. But Rafa, our time is running short. I think we have one last group, yes. Definitely last, but definitely not least. From Iota Energy, we have Jennifer Gallegos, the Director of Research and Strategy, and from EDP, Andre Botelho, the Head of Energy Storage and Flexibility. Are you both there?
Hi, yes, good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Rafa, do you want to take the first question?
Yes, I will for sure. Jen, can you please describe your solution and the solution you have been working with EDP, and what were the main goals you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, absolutely. So our team at Data Energy has created the first panel-level energy storage solution that fits perfectly behind any industry standard solar module, neatly integrating into solar PV racking, basically meaning that it doesn't need to be installed indoors. In our pilot with EDP, the main goals were to test our core thermal technology and the overall performance in both a laboratory setting and real-world conditions.
Great.
Great. Thank you for that, Jen. Rafa, why don't I take the next question? Huh?
Yeah, of course. This is the last one, so we have to enjoy.
Exactly. We have to savor the last moments with Andre. How are you, my friend? How are you today?
Hi, Ed. Everything
good? Hey, from the EDP side, how is the collaboration with Jota going? How has it been for you?
I have to tell that this was really a smooth collaboration. Also involving our laboratories, as Jenny said, we had to ship the system from Jota from the US, being able to go through customs, install it, test it, and we wanted to do several and different types of tests. And also we had a different challenge, that's COVID, and COVID-19 also gave us the opportunity, and also the Jota team the opportunity for the first installation done by a client. So not only we were installing it by ourselves, and until now Jota team always goes through the installation process. So we were able to validate the seamless installation of the systems. But we also were able to test within less than 2 months. We did the whole process. So from sending, installing, testing, and validating the results. So I think it was a really great challenge, and also with Vikram and John from the Jota team being far away with many hours difference, and always being there, being able to have a quick meeting to go through the hurdles that we had. It was really very interesting collaboration.
Fantastic. I think this is a good example of not only COVID doesn't stop innovation, time zones also don't stop innovation.
Exactly.
Rafa, do we have time for one last question?
Yes,
or is it time to wrap up? Do you want to take the last one?
Okay. You know, Andre, we are curious, and we know we would like to know what next, and if you have defined next steps with Jota, and please tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, first, as Carl also mentioning in the beginning, in the end, we are also we were investing in the Jota and so we are now also going through a more close collaboration, also to see how the product can enter the EU markets, how the certification process can move ahead, how can we see the fit also with our retail business units. So the path will be this one, and we are already scheduling some meetings in order to start developing this closer collaboration.
Okay, great. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Jen.
Yes, thank you.
We're also very
here in Austria. We're also very excited to see how things develop, not only with Jota, but with all the finalists. So I think on that note, Rafa, I think our time is up, unfortunately.
Yes, sadly, yes.
It was a great time. Thank you to everybody. We really had a great time hosting these business talks. I think now we can hand back over to the Beta E team.
Ed. Yes, thank you, Ed. Thank you, Rafa. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Welcome back, and I hope you all enjoyed the business talks. Please add comments in the YouTube chat if you'd like to share your feedback. Sharing is a very important, it's very important part of the program, and both us, utilities and startups, are learning a lot with all these open innovation programs. And this is only a short list of 9 out of 50 projects that are being negotiated, proving that digital format does not stop innovation. And as I said, the program doesn't end here. We still have a long journey ahead of us. And we are getting ready for the final moment of the program, the announcement of the starters winner.
Yes, that's true, Carla. And I'm eager to know who is going to win the 50,000 euros of this edition. But it has been quite a ride during the program and today. And I thought we could take a small break. What do you think, Carla?
Yes, Manuel, I agree. Let's all take 15 minutes and we meet you right here for the announcement. Rest your eyes and see you in a bit.
All right, see you in a bit.
it's all around us, this feeling of yearning as we miss each other.
Welcome back everyone. I hope you had the time to breathe and relax for a bit. We are really excited to have reached this special moment of Starter Business Acceleration and that you all are here after a full year like this.
Yes, it has been a full year, full of changes, emotions, a lot of adaptation, and a lot of collaboration. What matters is that we kept innovating and we moved forward, and that you, 30 very special startups, have managed to do it, along our program partners, of course.
And those startups that were not selected for the top 9, please bear in mind that your journey continues together with us, the utilities. We all have work to do, and we should do it by continuing collaborate and work together. I'm certain there will be a lot to show in the future of energy.
Yeah, of course. It's a start, it's a step, and moving forward. Now, 30 of you are innovation heroes. We know that for sure. But one of you is a prize winner of this edition. We want you to know in advance that you are outstanding, all of you, for your dedication and brightness throughout your relationships with the partner. It's not an easy task, and you did it. Carla, would you like to tell us the name, please, of the winner?
Yes. Haha, the big moment. And the 50,000 euro prize winner of Starter Business Acceleration 2020 is Iota Energy.
A energia que nos rodeia cresce mais forte nesta saudade.
Congratulations, Iota Energy. Bravo.
Congratulations, Iota. This is proof of your hard work and commitment for the last month. Use it wisely. Can you give us a few words, Iota team, please?
Hi, yes. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is an honor. We're very grateful for the opportunity to participate and grateful that we've been able to partner with EDP, and we look forward to continuing that relationship and building on the relationship that we've got with Verbund and also Turning Tables. So thank you very much. We're very honored and excited.
Fantastic, Jens, and congratulations. I believe also that the partners would like to tell us a few words, tell you a few words. Let's hear it from them.
Hi there. Quality innovation is about good ideas and top execution, and Iota has been showing us just that.
We valued your determination and hard work through the Starter 2020 edition, and I'm sure this is only one of the great moments that you'll have in the future, Iota.
We know that we haven't been kind to your batteries and have been testing them to the limit, but it is for a very good cause. Great performance during the Starter 2020.
Iota, we are very, very proud to be working with such qualified team members. Congratulations.
Well done, Iota, and all the best for the future. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Hello, Iota team, and congratulations on winning Starter 2020. On behalf of Turning Tables and Grupo Cuerva, we hope you can make the most of this prize. We are looking forward to working with you as part of this program, but also in many other projects to come. Once again, congratulations and speak very soon.
Verbund's partnership with EDP Startup Business Accelerator program starts in 2019, based on an invitation from Louis Manuel, for which we are very grateful. At our second participation in 2020, the aim was to invite this great innovation community to the Europe model in Vienna. But everything turned out differently due to the coronavirus. Running the program 100% remotely was a huge challenge, but it worked perfectly. Over 800 applications from startups worldwide. With the best 30 startups, we worked together with EDP and Turning Tables in 3 digital InnoCamps with great support from Better E. Many thanks to everyone who made this great Innovation Journey 2020 possible.
And it was so much fun to host the Europe module and to have you in Vienna virtually. We enjoyed it a lot to show you some of the most amazing spots in our city and also the most Austrian traditions like the Wiener Schnitzel, dancing the waltz, and of course, drinking some wine and beer. We had actually a lot of fun recording this video while discovering our own city.
It was especially amazing when we were recording the video on the 80-meter carousel, which isn't allowed normally to bring your iPhone there. So thanks for making that possible. It was really fun. But of course, all of that would have been much more fun if we could have done it together with you. So hopefully next year we can go on the discovery journey together with you.
On behalf of all of us here in Vienna, we'd like to congratulate all 9 finalists. But a special round of applause goes to Iota Energy, the winner of this year's starter program. Congratulations to this Iota team. The scalability and the modular design of your solution and its easy installation is something very attractive to not only Verbund, but all the partners. And we really look forward to working and developing this technology more with you in the future. On that note, again, a big thanks to all of our partners, all the startups who participated, and to a successful 2020 starter program. I say from Vienna, cheers, Prost.
Cheers.
Congratulations.
Yes. All the best.
And I also know that EDP CEO Miguel Stivel-Andrade has some words for you too.
So hello, everyone. First of all, congratulations on having made it the grand finale of EDP's Innovation 2020 Startup Business Acceleration. I'm really pleased to see just how successful our first virtual edition of the program has been. As you know, we run several programs for startups, working with more than 2,000 tech companies all over the world. And this is especially important when the energy sector is facing wholesale change, both upstream and downstream. Technologies are being created, scaled, and deployed at incredible speed in EDP's International Startup Engagement Unit, operating under the EDP Starter brand, is a testament to companies such as yours, who we believe are leading the revolution. The Startup Business Acceleration is our flagship program. It's an extraordinary example of our global footprint and cross-border collaboration within EDP. We are proud to have recently opened to new international partners, such as Verbund and Turning Tables. This program is not only an opportunity for you to test solutions with our partners, but also to grow your network within a global, fast-moving energy sector. Due to COVID-19, the entire program was shifted to a digital format. Whilst we may be missing out on face-to-face interaction, we also believe the impact of the program remains unchanged. The good news is that through virtual participation, we're able to engage a larger number of colleagues from EDP's business units, joining the Startup Business Acceleration from home. We selected 30 startups out of nearly 800, coming from 74 countries and 5 continents, with proposals ranging from energy storage to artificial intelligence. All these participated in one of the 3 chapters, LATAM, North America, and Europe, that took place in June and July in São Paulo, Houston, and Vienna. Each chapter brought together more than 100 participants in 120 meetings between startups and partners, panels, keynotes, and networking breakouts. These meetings have already generated results. 55 collaborations, of which 40% have already begun. 2 investments from EDP Ventures, Y-Data from Portugal and Iota from the US, and 5 investments are still under analysis. Once again, congratulations to everyone for this virtual edition and to the 30 startups selected to be part of this program. And congratulations obviously to the winner, Iota. I very much hope that we'll meet again. And in the meantime, I would encourage you to continue innovating, disrupting, and leading the revolution in the energy sector. Stay safe and stay well. Thanks.
All right, and thank you, Miguel, for those words, for this wrap up. And I take a few words, which is leading the energy revolution across borders. I think Starter has clearly successfully done so, and it's still in progress. So still in progress with all the conversations going on, a lot more news coming, I'm sure. And that's it, everybody. We're nearly the end of the grand finale. And we'd like to thank you all. Thank you, startups, for bringing innovation to the table and for being amazing. Thank you, EDP, Verbund, and Turning Tables for embracing dialogue and collaboration, for being open-minded and awesome.
And on behalf of EDP, this 2020 edition of Starter has been a pleasure. Thank you all for being part of it, and thank you so much, Betty, for everything. Another important reminder for all of you participant startups, you must keep the dialogue going with utilities and between you. The contacts you made here are for life. Also, we are launching applications for the next year's edition in February, so spread the word. We will still be around for a live celebration right here in Lisbon. Don't hang up and stay there, and hope to see you soon.
Yes, hope to see you soon, face to face, for sure. For now, come and celebrate with us. Embrace the Lisbon vibe and grab a glass of wine. I know, Carla, you already have yours. And join us for some music. See you right away.
Energy grows, it's all around us. This feeling of yearning as we miss each other.
Vendo aos olhos e ouve, sente o tom sem distinção. Sessão. Vê-me por dentro, lá no centro está a nossa condição. Mesmo o chão, então não me pises, irmão. Para quê? Só quem tem empatia é que vê. O outro lado. só gesto, resto de ônus para eu carregar. Se este grito é mudo, então não sou eu quem tem de mudar. De te dar a flor que rejeitas, irmão, ira para quê? Para quê? Só quem tem empatia é que vê. Vidas que se tiram na TV, não dá para crer. É ar que respira sem nenhum porquê.
Não sei bem o que fazer, nem sei como te dizer. Cada vez que me chegas me sinto mais longe de ti. Teu pudor foi transmitido e será neutralizado. Teu pudor foi transmitido. Não importa o quanto faça, pouco importa a cor do ouro. Na corrida ao teu afeto, a medalha é sempre bronze. Sou órfão da tua ternura. Oh, ei, are, ei. Oh, ei. Oh, areia, oh, ei. Are, ei. Oh, ei. Muito me salta à vista quando chegas reta e firme. Que pouco posso fazer para te fazer mudar. Teu pudor foi transmitido e será neutralizado. Teu pudor foi transmitido. Se soubesses abraçar, de vez em quando beijar, e aos recantos imperfeitos, com menos rigor apontar, quem seria eu? Sou órfão da tua ternura. Oh, ei, are, ei. Oh, ei. Oh, areia, oh, ei. Are, ei. Oh, ei.
Qual é a ideia? Ei. Não ouves a tua cidade a chamar por ti. Entra na zona. Não digas que tens de sair para acontecer. Eu já não vou nem tentar. Se a cidade quer, deixa andar. Eu já não vou nem tentar. Mesmo sem saber, deixa-te arrachar. Vem, esta nova Lisboa. Esta nova Lisboa. Vem, esta quente Lisboa. Esta nova Lisboa. Qual é a ideia? Qual é a ideia? Mas qual é a ideia? Qual é a ideia? De onde veio toda essa gente eu não sei. Dizem que estamos na moda, manca querer saber. A lista tudo direito, mas não tô nessa. De vender a saudade ou amor a beça. Eu já não vou nem tentar. Se o batuco vai, deixa andar. Eu já não vou nem tentar. Mesmo sem saber, deixa-te arrachar. Esta nova Lisboa. Esta nova você tem. Passa ao lado se não der o valor a quem por mim espera. Será que tolera? Será que também entende que não somos tão diferentes, incoerentes, carentes de amor? Se ela fala quero você, ele fala que não quer mais. Ser livre virou moda, a gente solta demais. Se ela fala não quero você, aí corre atrás. Todo mundo quer uma alma gêmea, mas tá difícil demais. Só mais uma vez. Uma hora vira um dia e um dia vira um mês. Se fico ou se avanço nesse balanço, penso demais, me perco, me canso em busca de mim e mais alguém. Quem por mim espera. Será que tolera? Será que também entende que não somos tão diferentes, incoerentes, carentes de amor? Se ela fala quero você, ele fala que não quer mais. Ser livre virou moda, a gente solta demais. Se ela fala não quero você, aí corre atrás. Todo mundo quer uma alma gêmea, mas é difícil demais.
Fica comigo, então let's go. Isto é outro nível, aqui é outro voo. Se tá difícil é mais fácil dizer goodbye. É correria de amor, ser tudo no entra e sai. Hey, lari, lari, we like the party. A cabeça é fraca, todo mundo sabe. Já dizia operações, quem paga é o bar. If you know what I mean, let me you say yeah. Yeah. Yo, cara, só posso ser o que sou. Fica difícil não perder o controle nessa vida de rock and roll. Vida só não falha quem não faz. Só não falha quem não faz. Right. Tá difícil demais. Ninguém para, let's go, let's go.
Se ela fala quero você, ele fala que não quer mais. Ser livre virou moda, a gente solta demais. Se ela fala não quero você, aí corre atrás. Todo mundo quer uma alma gêmea, mas é difícil demais. Mapo, nós dois, 3 dias na Paris. Minha amor, tá tirei oi, espro tudo pra lavar. Já agora não dá sol de saltar lá na Marselha. 4 paredes, cobrido com telha. Lambuzota racha na grelha, tá 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 racha.
Just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life has just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, ooh, I didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on. Nothing really matters.
Too late, my time has come. Send shivers down my spine. Body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, ooh, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. Carry on, nothing really I didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, nothing really no, I don't wanna die. Sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. Carry on, nothing really
Abriu boia, panuca finga, limna nos chão, catendi meu oribo. Já chega a hora de partida, que ele é nos criação. Forte coisa natural, canhos bem flange muda. Estran corrente de pé, estou na pono na cabeça, mas não seca ninguém. Se não perdi nos crenças, estranho corrente de pé. Estou na pono na cabeça, mas não seca ninguém. Se não perdi nos crenças, mas a não seca ninguém. Se não perdi nos crenças, se capanhos, sou panhos, sou panhos. Se capanhos, meus flampa quem tá cantando. Se capanhos, sou panhos, sou panhos. Se capanhos, meus flampa quem tá cantando.
time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright.